Hey everyone, it's Ruben, your favorite lymphoma survivor. Uh, Today is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. Things are definitely better this year than they were last year. I spent last Christmas and Christmas Eve, as well as Thanksgiving, at Henrico Doctors Hospital in intensive care because I was in such bad shape. And so God has blessed me with another opportunity to live my life, and I'm instead going to be spending Christmas this year, as everyone should, with my family. Very, very happy about that. Very blessed. But today we're going to talk about something that I've not told many people about, and that is my confession that I took SARMs this year after I finished chemotherapy. If you don't know what SARMs are, SARMs stand for selective androgen receptor modulator. It's a classification of drugs that stimulate tissue growth in the body, much like steroids. It's almost like a diet steroids. Um, I found a guy online that had a website, and I made my purchase over the internet, and they were directly shipped to my house. I took enclomiphene and a selected blend of SARMs. So I took enclomiphene, tricks the body into producing more testosterone, uh, and then I took a SARMs blend. So I took 2 pills a day. Uh, it was after I finished chemotherapy. I weighed 145 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall, and my normal body weight is about 180 pounds. I lost about 50 pounds after I found out I had cancer and started chemo. So when I had started the SARM cycle, I started April 24th, and I took my last dose on June 11th. And during this time, I was going to the gym and physical therapy. Um, at the point where I started taking the SARMs, I felt terrible. I, I was severely underweight. I was malnourished, and I felt like I was dying even though I'd finished chemo. I still felt terrible. And after I started taking the SARMs, I immediately felt better. Now, the longer I took the SARMs, the amount of energy that and the wellness that I started feeling, it actually decreased. And I did have side effects. My mood worsened. I was more agitated, and I did start to get acne. These are all expected side effects of taking substances that act in a way that builds muscle tissue. So I wasn't entirely surprised that I had these side effects. In fact, I kind of expected them. But the longer I took the SARMs, the more I started questioning, hey, I just went through a life-altering medical treatment, and I'm putting chemicals in my body that I bought off the internet. I have no idea what's really in them. So after I talked to my wife, I decided to stop taking them. So initially my plan was to do a 60-day cycle, and I did about 6 weeks. And when I got to the 6 week, I had enough. I felt like I got what I needed out of them, and I just threw them in the trash. And I haven't gone back on cycles since then. So I made a video about gaining 35 pounds in 100 days after chemotherapy. And that is true. I did gain 35 pounds after chemotherapy in 100 days because I was so severely underweight. And I did use performance enhancing drugs. Now, I wasn't training for the Olympics. I wasn't training for a bodybuilding show. I was just training to get my job back and training to not feel like I was dying anymore. And I accomplished what I needed to. I got my job back. I do feel better. I don't feel as good as I did before I had cancer, even now, but I'm hoping that as I get further out from my last chemotherapy dose, that I do eventually get back to where I was before I found out I had cancer. Would I recommend taking SARMs or other performance enhancing drugs for someone that was in a similar situation? I don't know. I would recommend that someone that was in my shoes would do so under the advice of a physician. I did not do it under the advice of a physician. In fact, when my oncologist from Henrico Doctors asked me if I was taking something, I told the truth. Part of me wanted to lie because I was scared of what she would say, but I told her the truth. And she didn't yell at me. She just Googled it real quick and was like, you should stop taking these. And I did. Long-term use of performance-enhancing drugs can lead to hypertrophy of the heart. That's where the heart gets too large, and that's why a lot of heavy steroid users die before they hit 40 or 45. They just flat out have a heart attack. So when I took SARMs, I was just desperate to get my life back, to not feel like I was dying. So that's what I did. So this is my confession. I took SARMs, and they probably helped me in my recovery. Do I have like empirical data that backs up my claims that it helped me? I don't. Would I have recovered as quickly without them? I don't know the answer to that question. But I took them, and then I stopped, and I got my life back. So again, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Thanks for watching these videos, and hopefully this confession doesn't change your opinion of me or the struggles that I went through as a cancer patient. But this is my truth. And Andy, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. All right. Later.